Hey, Tom.
Another show here. It's a little bit of a rainy day in beautiful river.
Yeah, very much so. I last couple times I begged, almost got on my hands and knees and begged for viewership, and still only about 38 hits last week, and that was with the Phantom Call.
Well, our viewership, you know what they say, if you can lead a horse to water.
That's true.
But if you can get it to lay on its back, then you really got
Then
something.
you got something. They do say that, I think.
They do. Joey Bishop actually did say that. I think we'll start off the show a little bit with some news and notes. I don't know about you, but I'm completely dumbfounded after watching 30 minutes of the Democratic debate last night.
You're not dumbfounded.
Oh my God.
You're much dumber for doing so.
Oh my God. Any one of them with their finger on the pulse, and we're some serious trouble. You know?
You want anything specific you'd like to bring up?
Well,
I didn't watch it.
Biden's, he's actually, I think, got borderline dementia or something. Kamala Harris, dude, gotta go. I mean, really?
Yeah, that's good English.
You
Dude,
know,
gotta go.
And
Wait. She is looking for that vote, though.
right. And of course, Elizabeth Warren has the tax on the 1/10 of the upper percent. That's how she did it. She kept raising her arm. And $2, 2 pennies on every dollar over 50 million. See, that's all based on this economy, Sue. If that's the case, these people are going to put their money offshore and hide it, and free isn't the answer, but they're just trying to snowball people by saying free, 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 free.
Hey, by the way, for people who don't like Trump, I think you're in trouble because they'll never impeach him because the Senate is all Republican, or, majority. And they're running models now that have predicted the last, since 1972, the presidential races a year in advance. The only one they missed was Trump winning last time. But they're saying he's going to win in a landslide no matter who the Democratic candidate
Well,
is.
look what's running against him. There's nothing there. It's trash.
Right.
This Castro says, he's down shooting down the police. You can't trust the police. Who's voting for these people?
Yeah, what would you do, Tom? If here you are, right? Your neighbor, you haven't seen him in a while, the front door's open. You probably go over and see how he's
Well,
doing.
it's an interesting case since you bring that up. It's in Dallas, what we're talking about, I believe. And a neighbor was concerned about his 26-year-old neighbor whose doors were open. He hadn't seen her all day and there was no lights on in the house. Now, normally, I would walk next door and knock on the door and say, is everything okay here?
Right, maybe they dropped Dad, maybe
Right.
God forbid.
But he didn't go next door.
No, he didn't.
He called the police, who came,
The police?
and the police officer, a new police officer, was walking around the house with a flashlight, saw something in the window, which turned out to be this poor woman. And apparently she was holding a gun because her niece said,
There's somebody out
Aunt
there.
grabbed the gun, and she grabbed the gun because the neighborhoods, unfortunately, are scary.
Yeah.
And we have a death. And it's sad, it's wrong. He was fired, and he's arrested.
Yeah, please understand, we're not sitting here saying like, oh my God, this guy should be exonerated. The guy is arrested and lost his job, and he should have. He never
Right.
identified himself as the police.
Right.
And it was a rookie mistake. But I guess what we're saying is we're in a situation in America where a neighbor can't go next door and see if everybody's
Right.
okay.
There's more of an underlying problem there than you can't trust the police. Unfortunately, that was probably a bad hire.
Yeah.
But these forces are having a hard time hiring people. Why would you?
Yeah.
You're under all kinds of scrutiny. We had a police officer here in Chickawaga kicked and bitten at the food court by a bunch of punks. But you don't hear about that.
Did you say bitten?
He was bitten
Oh
and
my
kicked.
God. That's horrible.
It just is the lack of respect and stuff. But if that's all that they can throw out there to run against this guy, and then they said, well, he's failed to do this and this. In all honesty, since day one, it's all they've tried to do is impeach him. Charlie Schumer and Botoxy have done nothing to work with this man, and I guess we're going to have to put up 4 more years of it. It's just absurd.
Still like Botoxy. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's for sure. Going to talk about a new feature coming up.
Oh yeah, good. That's exciting.
Been listening on the radio here to the old Johnny Carsons. And remember Karnak?
I do. The Magnificent.
The Magnificent. He is a great fortune teller, a see-all. And I have some of those same skills.
You always have.
So we're going to do a little bit. We're going to come up with a name for it, but we're going to start that, I think, on the next show. And I think you might find enlightening, to say the least.
Well, those 38 to look at it.
Well, right. And maybe we'll get up to 40 with that.
I'd like to get even a 10% increase. Get us up to like 42. Come on.
We've had some comments, feedback from some of our viewers that say that we must be kind of disappointed or shocked that the Sabres are 5-0-1.
Are we off politics?
Yes.
Okay.
Listen to what we're saying. We are diehard Buffalo Sabre fans.
Hold
and
on,
Bills
hold on.
fans.
bucket list, Stanley Cup.
Right. But we also, over the years, have grown stronger in realizing that you have to see and love the team from here and not from the heart. And all I'm saying about the Sabres right now is caveat emptor from our great teacher from Bishop Newman High School,
Yeah.
Vince
Vince
Callisto.
Callisto. Let the buyer beware.
Caveat emptor.
Emptor. It's Latin for jiggy jig.
Right. And I'm just saying that when you have a Sobotka and Larson and these guys, and they're playing okay, we've said it before, they're not complete. Well, I don't think Sobotka belongs in the NHL, to be totally honest with you. And we've had enough of Larson. And when those guys are playing those kind of minutes, you're not that good of a team. And we're both disappointed because nobody that he brought in could beat them out.
That's the key. We got guys in Rochester we think could play better. But let's just say this. Tom, we are huge Sabre fans. Nothing would make us happier than this continuing. And you've heard me a million times say Kruger is part of this answer. This guy knows what he's doing. He's got the right levers and he's doing the right thing. He benched Darlene the other night after a horrific shift and a 2-goal game. And it turned out they ended up tying it anyway. But the point is, he's getting a feel for this team. Middlestat's only playing about 10 minutes. You could say, in an old world of the Sabres coaches, that would be a punishment.
Right.
I don't think it is. I think he's shielding the kid as he grows up. And I think that's what's going to be a difference here. Now, do we have the horses to continue to keep going? We'll see. And if we do, boy, you're going to hear it right here that I was wrong.
Well, by the way, too, in the game that you're talking about, Wayne, our Yellow Pages have said that was a horrific first 2 periods by not only Deline but Olofsson and Middlestat.
Yeah.
It was a 1-0 Sabre lead.
Yeah, well.
And just if he did bench the 3 of those guys or went with another group, he went with his checkers and stuff. Let's just make a note that we lost the lead.
Yes, we did.
And I think we won in the shootout.
2 games in a row. One we won in overtime, one in shootout. The other thing is you've heard us say this again too. We in Buffalo cannot stand our superstars. It's like Jack Eichel Sam Reinhart.
His body language.
He doesn't deserve it.
My God, has anybody seen Bernie Sanders, by the way? But anyways,
Olofsson can only score on the power play. Rasmus Dahlin is terrible in his own end. We have done this since I've been watching since probably the late '60s. We beat up Gilles Perreault at times. I mean, it's just ridiculous. If you're gonna beat guys up, beat up the guys that are really bad.
by the way, we mentioned this on another show. We used to sing in the parallelist fight from the national anthem.
That's right.
And we were called on that by a
Jimmy Aarons, beloved.
And he was right and we were wrong, but it's funny how the mind can treat you. And
That's right.
speaking of things that get in the back of your mind you don't remember, I'm still wondering about the, well, never mind it. I don't want to get into the Me Too movement. But you were at Infant too, weren't you?
I was at Infinite Prague, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
What's the Me
Altar
Too?
boy.
Were you molested?
I don't know. I just wonder sometimes. I get funny feelings about when I'm at Ellicott Creek Park. I don't know. Anyways, going back to the Sabres, just remember that the guys that they threw on there to do the job really didn't do the job. And but hey, I want to win. And goaltending has been okay. Hutton's at his .909. That's about what he gets. Omar's at
he moved up because the last game. They're both .938.
That's
probably not sustainable, but a great start.
It's also off a little because there's not many games. But those guys, they're both playing well. Allmark, really, I've been impressed. But I still think the goalie that we're going to hang our hats on is
Steve Pichkowski.
Yeah, Stefan H. Is not currently skating.
Uka Pekka Lukanen.
Hopefully he's born, but he's currently not skating right now.
Yeah, hopefully I don't have to wait that long on our quarterback after Jim Kelly.
Now we'll go to the Bills. They were at a bye week. I think we're getting some.
I'm not done with the Sabres.
All right, go back to the Sabres.
What the hell's wrong with you?
I'm nervous.
We're on a 3-game Western swing. Very winnable games, but a very, very tough schedule because of the Sweden trip. Tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. I mean, after flying out west, it's going to be tough. But you know what? This team, I think they got the right mix. You know, with most of the players.
San Jose.
Tonight is Anaheim. Then I believe LA, and then San Jose Saturday.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. But win 2 of 3, I'll be thrilled.
But unlike the Yellow Pages, we stay up and watch.
Yes, we do. And by the way, the Yellow Pages said this morning that they would be very unhappy unless they win all three. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's ridiculous.
I'll take 2 or 3.
That's totally ridiculous.
Yeah. Or even a 1-1-1 where you get 3 out of 6.
It's so early to see. Well, I could care less what they're unhappy about. Yeah, honestly, right?
They can't get their heads around it.
I wonder what they're thinking about. Yeah, cousin Ed. I wonder what they're thinking about Baker Mayfield here. And again, another loss by Pat Mahomes. There must be suicidal tendencies at the station.
At the Yellow Pages, because we suck over there on One Bills Drive. They know they don't do anything right.
How do you predict this? Or I'm sorry, you're not done with
No,
Sabres?
I'm done.
Okay, we'll go to the Bills now. Bills got some guys healed up. Last weekend, I'm out of my suicide pool. I took the Chargers against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh wins with a streak quarterback. How do you figure that?
Yeah, that's hard to believe.
Is there a fly in the room?
No, that was the suicide.
Oh, and Pittsburgh goes in there and wins. I am done with New England, Pittsburgh, and those cheeseheads.
Oh,
How about the calls?
Those
Yes.
calls. Here I am. That game means nothing to me, and I'm sitting up on watching it on what was that, Monday night, and you just hate this league. If you didn't have a team here, you probably wouldn't watch. It's just horrific.
Oh, the calls.
And that old man there with his diaper, he changed it at halftime. He's pissing himself. He's 106. He's a proctologist, and he stares at a guy pushing in a shoulder pad and throws hands in the face. I hate every God blessed one of them because they're inept.
I don't know why in hockey or in football, like in hockey, someone doesn't put a puck off the dome.
Yeah.
You know, Scandella was great at high off the glass, high off his dome, or somebody roll up on one of these guys. Are you kidding me?
I literally said that, Tom. I sat there and said, how does Detroit take this and not just annihilate him next snap?
And then they wake up this idiot in New York or something. They wake him up and say, Jim, what do you think about the call?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have no idea what an incomplete pass is, a complete pass, grounding.
They talked about a fumble.
Dirty hits.
The receiver from Detroit. And he carries the ball 3 steps and he loses the ball out of bounds. So they go to Benji in New York and he goes, well, yeah, it's a football move. Tucked it away, 3 steps, everything's great. That's a completed pass. They come back, the ruling on the field has been reversed, and he goes, why, there's great evidence there to reverse it. I'm like, why, you
And if you listen closely, you guys at home, moms and dads, your kids, when they go to New York, Benji, listen closely, because in the background, if you can listen closely, you'll hear.
Because he's got problems too with the diapers.
Right, there's some serious issues there.
Maybe it's time to bring some youth in here. And you got a referee who can barely walk 6 yards.
I hate to say it,
Take
but
him
really
out.
shelve the whole replay idea. Let's just go back to human error.
Yeah.
Please.
Seriously.
I begged for it.
I did too.
This city got screwed enough, and
But they don't get it right anyway.
We don't get it right.
And the pass interference, you can't tell me that's not an unwritten protest. They're not going to reverse a pass interference because the refs are livid that was brought into play.
we're gonna try and get a message into the apology letter from the NFL.
Yeah.
The apology letter writer.
Yeah.
Because I heard that he's been replaced because the first guy got carpal tunnel.
Every week.
You know, Detroit is going to get an apology letter.
Yep.
We're so sorry our crew misfired that game.
I'm so sorry, our crew. It completely stinks. So back to going to the Bills, Josh Rosen was supposed to start. Now the big change today, Fitz. Now Fitz Magic's back, and I got to be honest with you. If it were a tight game, we're 16.5-point favorites. But if it were a tight game in the fourth, he's throwing a pick. So I'm not worried about Fitz at all.
Well, I think you're talking about the Amish rifle.
The Amish rifle, yeah. Not the Arkansas rifle. That was Joe Ferguson.
If he's ever going to get it, if they're ever going to get their first win of the year,
Yeah.
you know where it's happening.
No, it's not coming.
But I don't see it coming.
No.
But
I'll be like the typical Bills fan. Bills by 98, Super Bowl all the way.
Well, Tom from Lovejoy. This is a great team. I love everything about it.
I love it. You know what the worst thing ever is when the Bills play and they show the highlights and they go, and then Johnny Scott was over on Delaware Avenue at Johnny's Bar. And let's talk to a few Bills fans.
Well, that was really super.
It was great. Bills are
We're going to
great.
Super Bowl.
That's what they do. Yeah.
I have a whole mouthful of cavities, but we're going to Super Bowl.
Bills are great. I got 2 teeth in my head, but we're going to win it all. All the way Super Bowl, Bills, go Bills.
And then when they do the nationally televised game here, because they're really handicapped with the old stadium. They can't do the camera angles. But they show that same woman who's been retired from the anchor bar for 90 years, flipping the anchor.
And then the Falls.
Yeah, and then Niagara Falls, which, by the way, I want to throw a shout out to the. I went over the falls, not in a barrel, but in a helicopter on Sunday, and kudos to that pilot and the engine and that thing for getting us back to land, because that engine was whining.
It was whining. I heard it struggling. God forbid, you almost went down and drank.
Well, it would have been over quick.
Well, actually, it wasn't the ride for 6, but it was just you and one other person.
Me and my brother-in-law, usually there was 5 people. Me and my brother-in-law went on, and that poor
Mark,
bird.
no shot at you, buddy. Take a look here, okay?
We were singing Fortunate Son all the way. But got on that thing, I gave it a kiss and said, let's go get us some goo. I know that's bad. But,
oh, God almighty.
Special shout out to the pilot there. He flew in Afghanistan.
Hey,
and, what a load he had.
On a note about helicopters, and we'll go back to the Bills, my brother was telling me, because my family all went and did zip lining in Elkinville Sunday, but, with my hip and everything, I didn't do it. But my brother Mike was telling me that at the Huey Gunships in Nam, at certain areas, you had to what do they call it? Rip line?
Zip line?
Zip line, sorry. Zip line between helicopters in the air. Sweet, adorable Jesus.
I'll tell you what, I'm not doing that because I'm not a fortunate son. Okay? Because I would be in Hanoi.
Yeah.
They would have lost me in Phnom Penh.
Or in Cambodia, where we're supposed to be, which means you never get out.
There's no way I'm ziplining over there. Put me down. I'll take my chances with Charlie.
In the tall grass.
Right.
Anyway, I just thought I brought that in. So the Bills, it looks like a really good 3 game setting up here, but you got to play the game. Got to play some good D, but I'd like to see, when we'd like to see this all really break out this week. Really, that's a bad D. It's a bad team. I'd love to see Josh really maybe throw 3-4 touchdowns, something, a breakout game.
Well, I want him. He's got to have the 400-yard passing.
Without that, he's useless.
I've yet to see the 400 yards of passing. If he could throw for 400 yards, I don't care about the 3 picks.
Right, and I wouldn't even care if we lost.
Right.
Because he's got Yellow Pages wants 400 yards.
Well, the game Jameis Winston had in Berlin. Why are we going to London?
Oh, I'm done.
Why are we doing this?
No, all football.
5 picks, 2 fumbles, but he had 385 yards passing.
American football. Well,
yeah. That's all giveaways outside the Thames River there or something. They don't want that. They want soccer. They want that
soccer.
3 hours of nothing. Actually, in all honesty, the soccer game is about an hour, and there's no commercials. I do have to hand them to them there.
I'll give it to him. And some of these, remember, last couple of years with some of these hockey games, the Sabres and stuff were like soccer on ice.
I would literally fall asleep.
1-0. But
one last thing I'm throwing something about the Sabres. Please, Sabres, if anybody out there, if any 38 of you have anything to do with the Sabres, what are they doing with this DJ Milk? Why is he back?
I know. Thank you. Well, they're doing the floss real well, and the kids love it.
The kids go over to the escalators.
I cannot
it's mind-blowing.
Myself
mind-numbing.
Think. I sit in that chair, they blast it, and even when it's not milk and it's just over from the scoreboard speakers, I can't hear myself think. And I'm not an old man. Yes, I'm 61, but I can hear and I can speak. And the lady next to me, all I see is her mouth moving. I mean, can we have a conversation in that hellhole? Well, actually, I love the stadium. Can we have a conversation?
The period ends. You want to talk to your buddy, your and Crean's Bob Crean, to quote him, your date. You'd like to talk something instead of listening to that. And I don't care if it's Bob Seger he's blasting. I just don't want to hear it.
Roger and your date.
But someone tell him, please. They're already out of the beautiful 50th anniversary jerseys. Who down there is making those decisions? They're out of the...
And they're not going to get any Adidas out. They're not even ordering more.
But they have pink unicorns.
Well, that's good. I always wanted a pink unicorn with a saber crest on it.
Me too.
Who's making a buying decision? You know what we need? All right, now I figured it out. If you're listening, former Audio Al, okay? Now the audio one. If you're listening, you should be the buyer for the Pagulas.
And I could help you, Al. And all we want is 5% of what we make you. How about that?
5%, and make sure you order enough tent sizes.
How about some... Well, that's the other thing. All the sizes were small. Have you looked out the windows at the store there?
At the constituents?
And no knocking, right? But these things are like... they're like tube tops.
Yeah.
The old days, you threw on a an extra large hockey jersey was fine for me. Now they're aerodynamic. Listen, I don't need to get faster through the hall. All right, give me the fluffy big jersey. I want to feel free, right? But these skin tight things.
This has got to flow.
Yeah, I want comfortability here. All right,
Is that a
who's
word?
buying this stuff? I don't know.
Comfortability?
And how about some pictures of Jumbo Jim Watson, who scored the first goal ever in Sabre history? Nothing.
Well, you're on a roll.
5% of what I make you.
Well, your daughter works down there. Maybe she could get us an audience with the
I don't want to
buyer.
get the poor girl fired. She's already said, "Dad, stop it."
Well, our kids are embarrassed of us and don't watch. So that's cool.
But I think that's probably it, huh?
Yeah, that's about it. We're before it shuts off or ends before it should and all that. Anyway, congrats to my son Zach and his girlfriend Amanda. They're moving in their house. They bought a house. To my brother, who got a nice new apartment, and a lot of stuff been going on lately, but good stuff.
And I'll just leave it with my warning to everybody, especially after watching last night. If you keep bending over,